In this video, I'm going to show you how I use an AI agent to build a lead magnet for my business. We're going to use Lovable to build this lead magnet. So welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to demo me using Lovable to build my lead magnet. Now, I've built a whole lot of lead magnets, and a lot of them were just like documents, PDFs, so on and so forth. But now with these apps, you can have a user experience that's a lot faster, that gets them value faster, that gets you trust in your business a lot faster. And it is like, it's not static, it's dynamic. It's no longer download this PDF or watch this free video. It's dynamic. You use something like an online assessment, a quiz. There are a bunch of different ways you can do it. You can do a Google form, you can do Typeform, you can do Score app. I used to use Score app, and I thought it was great. I really liked Daniel Priestley. I was in a key person to influence. But the thing is, I've subscribed to Lovable because I use Lovable to build websites for clients and to build web apps for clients too. And so I'm like, well, I just got to do the logic and build it out myself. And since I already know how Score app works, I'm going to build that into a online assessment for my business. And now that I have far more clarity on what I'm doing with Green Book Digital, I actually have got my first client into my AI program, and it was just a quick assessment, but I got my first paid client, so I know I'm going in the right direction. So I'm like, yo, I need a faster way to add value. Like, yeah, I want to do webinars with people and show them some little tricks of the trade here and help them get more freedom in their business and help them grow out of that job they created for themselves. But right now, they need to see that, you know what I mean, computers puting. So that's what we're going to do in this episode. So let's go to my Lovable account. I'm going to go to a new Lovable page so I can show you what I did one before. For real, I didn't like it. So these are some of my projects. This one here, this AI buddy quiz, find your perfect AI business partner. So this quiz was to help people figure out which AI model works best for their business. And, or, you know, the foundational models, the LLMs, Grok, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity. Those are the four. And was another one? And Gemini. So those are the 5 that I scored people against. And I did it based on my use of them. So I know which one is better for writing, for productivity, strategic thinking, so on and so forth. Right? So this quiz actually works. Boom. You click let's go back. You start the quiz and you go through. You know, it was cool, right? It has I don't know. Let's see what happens. It has the little, watch this. Well, it's supposed to be a little explosion there. I think you get it when you put your email in. Let's see. And there it is, right? So I had all those little animations and stuff added in, and I still didn't like it. You know, I felt like this was not going to hit the mark. It was really me just running to see if I could do this and get it like with the finish, what it would look like from start to finish, and then make tweaks on it. But once I finished getting it done, I ain't like it. And the beauty of having tools like Lovable, Bolt, and all the AI coding apps for you is that it kind of makes it makes apps disposable. It makes software disposable to a certain point. And honestly, that's fine, because it's really about the learning experience and the power you get and the functionality you get out of the things you create. All right, so now I'm going to go and make a new one. Okay, this one is for the people who I want to work with. So these are small businesses, the people who I want to work with, and by the grace of me understanding how to work a business a little bit, the people I am working with. So these are small business owners, and I wrote out the target audience. So solo business owners, small teams, or teams that's trying to grow, but they stumbling with automation. First, I was niching down, to be honest, by industry and demographic. So, you know, demographic is just numbers you can get off the census. So companies this big, so on and so forth. But really, I'm niching based on the problem I solve. The problem I solve is helping people get more time back in their business so they can go and work on the things that matter the most. And that's really important. When you go to create that job for yourself, you start to realize, like, only I can do this, and this is what I like to do. So you need somebody else, or you need AI to do the other thing for you, so you can get to the higher leverage things and eventually get over to just doing what you want to do, whether it be going on vacation, spending more time with your family, so on and so forth. And if you like me or any other obsessed finder, you always like to work. You just find different things to work on. So that's what this quiz is about. But it's really about helping the business owners figure out how much time they're losing, where they're losing that time, and then how they can go and get that time back. And so I put this quiz together, and here I had AI I had ChatGPT, who I believe is the best strategy partner, um, the best language model for building strategy. I think Claude is good at it too, especially when it comes to when it starts to come to like expressing the strategy and how that's going to look in the world because it writes better. So I had ChatGPT build it out. There is a GPT for Lovable, Lovable base prompts, and shout out to Pat from Starter Story. His guy, I forget the guy's name, but the guy built this, so I'm gonna give all the credit to him. This is let's open it up real quick so we can show love because that's what it's all about, right? I think there it is, Lazar Javanovic. Okay, I'm sorry if I messed up your last name, but anyway, search this in ChatGPT if you are using Lovable. Look up Lovable base prompt. So this is where you just tell it the ID you want. It's going to give you a base prompt. If you're building a web app, the next step is the Lovable PRD generator. So you would take the base prompt that you get from the Lovable base prompt. Why is it not? And then boom. And then you would put that base prompt into the PRD generator and it's going to start developing. That's not the right thing. What are you doing? It's going to develop a PRD for you. I'm building a web app, which is more like a website. And so I don't need a whole PRD. Plus, I've done this before. All right, so I got my whole quiz here. All right, so I went back and forth in ChatGPT, and I also went back and forth in Claude. And so, again, Claude has all the context for my messaging, my business, and everything. And here is the full quiz. And then it also gives me like so when you use Score app, of course, it follows up with like an email as a part of paying for the plan, right? Follow up with emails, and if you're a good entrepreneur, you're going to keep following up with a few emails, and those emails are the things that's going to get them to the next step in your business, whether it be a webinar, a book call, so on and so forth. And that's what I'm looking for. Like I want to get on the phone with people or get them on my web, get them to a webinar because it's fun for me to use AI, and I love them making demonstrations. And I did one the other day. And I realized like in my webinar, because AI moves so fast and the software doesn't cost me any extra money, I'm doing live demos. Like I'm taking people's questions and I'm putting them right in and we solving it, in a very early, like a quick way, just to show them what the power is if they're using these things correctly. AI, this is the thing I like about Claude. When I said with strategy, it's more intuitive. So it takes the next step and give you a content promotional strategy and how to set it up. Week 1 setup, testing. Listen, it ain't gonna take us 4 weeks to drop this app. That ain't what we about. You gotta move fast. And these apps allow us to do that. All right, so let's get into the app. So boom. We got the quiz here. So then we're gonna go over the Lovable. So I started the prompt and I was like, here we go. So I want to build a quiz-based lead gen platform. This is a part of the I got this from Prompt Base, right? So to start laying it out. But I made some updates since I did the first prompt-based app, so I have to kind of build this prompt from scratch. All right, so I want to build a quiz-based lead gen platform that helps time-strapped business owners identify the bottlenecks in their business that are keeping them trapped in daily tasks. It should feel professional, focused, empowering, and be optimized for mobile and web. Boom. And now I wanted to match my website because this lead magnet is going to be a part of Green Book Digital. So right now I have a lead magnet that is a static lead magnet, right? It's in Notion. So, before we was generating PDFs in Canva and giving those away or doing white papers and giving those away. Okay, great. So here's my updated website. All of the cool things, the testimonials, some web apps I built, the action plan, the 3-step plan working with me. All right, whatever. All the cool things, right? My offers, all that good stuff up and down the page. But all of these call to action buttons and this whole section here is going to be updated to my new quiz, the Time Rich Founder Quiz. Okay, so I want it to look like this site though. So what I'm going to do is take a quick screenshot. This tool is called Go Full Page, and it is just a Chrome extension. And this is the color palette that I want my quiz to be, so everything can be on brand. Let's see if it let me post it. Yes. All right. And so I know I'm going to have to make a lot of adjustments in terms of maybe copy on the landing page, working through the scoring. That's my timer going off. My goal is to do this within the next 2 hours. So I'm not gonna make you sit through this for 2 hours, but we'll just continuously check in and you'll just see where I'm at with this. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna copy all of this scoring logic. I'm just gonna copy all of it because this is the more context you give it on the first prompt, the better your web app tends to turn out. And fire away. Let's go. All right. The time-rich blueprint. Sometimes it comes up with good names. Sometimes it doesn't. It explicitly says time-rich founder quiz. So what I'm expecting to see, I forgot to add in that the questions are supposed to be one by one. All right. So while that's building, I'm going to explain to you why I decided to do this. I use Score App. I started using Score App about 2 years ago. So 2023. Whenever it was I first got introduced to Daniel Priestley and watching going down the rabbit hole, the 7-Eleven 4, and hearing him talk, and I bought a bunch of his books, and I think he's great. And I think his approach to business is great. And I'm sure he's a great guy. I like who I see him online. He seems pretty authentic to me. But I also was a part of the key person of influence. So that means I'm influenced all over by how he's approaching business. And at the time I was trying to be a health coach. And so I wasn't doing a great job of communicating it. So I was like, I'm too close to it, and I wasn't able to really step back far enough to help bring people along the journey. And so I was kind of unsuccessful. So I was just like wasting money using Score App. So I started to use Score App, the free tier. I came back to it. So I probably used it 3 different times, and paid for a subscription a couple times. And when I started using the free tier, it wasn't effective for what I wanted to get done, but I was like, I'll force myself to simplify, which allowed me to really lock in on the questions, what I was going to use. And with the free tier, I believe you only get like 10 submissions a month or something, which is pretty low because my method now to get people is through content and through direct outreach. So I'm hitting up hundreds of people, and at least, I'm going to get 10 people to fill it out. That means I need more than 10 submissions. There's that. To get the full experience for my end, like to make it useful, I would have to pay. And it's not expensive. It's like $35, $40 a month. That's worth it. If you're selling anything over $500, you sell one person makes a purchase or works with you, and it's covering it, right? So here's the thing. I'm already paying for Lovable. And if it's one thing I always talk about and I believe in and I like to support, is scrappy entrepreneurs, people who go and figure stuff out. Right now, I got more time than money. So I'm like, I have the understanding. I have AI. I'm already paying for that. So that can help me work through some of these processes, whether it be through coding, through building the right questions. Where I got my questions from is Daniel Priestley was kind enough a few weeks ago to drop a YouTube video on how he actually 15 questions that he actually puts into his scorecards through Score App. And I was pretty close because I use it often. Like I've done it quite a few times. So I have a good understanding, but I do think that it's worth going to check out that video and using it, incorporating those 15 questions, because it gets you to really uncover psychologically, like take them on a psychological journey of where they are now, where they want to be. And then of course you get some customer info from them, and now you're on your way. And so the next best thing is to just make sure you have, enough expertise in your field to where you can give them some solid feedback. And here's the thing, with these quizzes, it's not so straightforward. Like this quiz is about how to save time in your business. And I'm just giving away all the sauce because I picked up so much online. And so now I'm thinking, yeah, it's about being a time-rich founder, but ultimately I want to be able to help the founders with, oh, come on, fams. Are you seeing this right now? I'm gonna swap that image out. But so since I've been this just jumped right into, but this is just a real reaction. The colors are on point, a little darker than my website. Let me see. Why is it still like this? Yeah. The colors are a little darker than my website, which is fine because it still feels like it's a part of the same thing. That image gets updated, but now, so when I first started using Lovable, it did not have image gen, but it does now. So boom, I gave it instructions for the entire landing page. All right, this is a lot, guys, but this is what it takes. Here's the quiz name. Here's the landing page copy. I've written quite a few landing pages for myself and for clients, and I use Claude to help me with my landing pages now versus ChatGPT, but I know how this is supposed to work. Daniel Priestley also covers that in his video, and he also uncovers that in this video. If you want a link to that video, I'm going to put it in the description so you can just go and watch the video. So he covers how to set up your landing page, your quiz, your results, all that good stuff. Boom. It's still interpreting this as the business. Oh, because I still have copy here as the business freedom assessment. All right. So like automatically, I would get rid of this pill. This pill right here makes it look like this is instant vibe coding vibes. I'm going to trim down this headline because that's way too many words. Probably put some space in between here, but I like this. This is all good. I'll change this headline. I like the colors flipping back and forth each section. This is, I might update this with real facts. So I use Perplexity all the time for research, like all the time, anytime I want to fact check something. So Claude gave me like some random stat and I was like, fact check that. And then it fact checked it and gave me back this New York enterprise report found that 33% of business owners work more than 50 hours per week. So I'm going to put this in Perplexity right now. Let's see what it tells us, guys. And this is the prime example of where you can't let AI do everything for you. All right, so this is actually consistent. In summary, the statistics are real. All right, cool. So we found out that that stat was true. We might still roll with that. I might try to find something that's even punchier. I like that it left a placeholder here for me. Meet Quintel was kind of dry. I might update that, but I'll insert a photo of me here. Trusted by time-rich founders. So most landing pages have like a testimonial space. I'm not a fan of fake testimonials, so I'm probably going to get rid of this. Or I'll put in a real testimonial that I have that may be connected. And then here, so it took its own liberty to put start your assessment now. That's not what we want. We want time-rich, take the time-rich founder quiz or get my time-rich founder score. Sometimes it adds the copy it wants because Lovable is it's a part of attached to a language model. So that makes its decision. It makes its own decision. All right. And so how I normally go through this is I'll open up a page I'll go up and down. I'll open up a page in Notion and I'll make my amendments. So it gave me, I had a feeling it was going to give me 2 CTA buttons because that's how these type of landing pages work. Oh, let's go through and see if it actually takes us to the quiz. All right. So I want to take it. I want to go straight to the quiz. I like this. I like that it asks about the industry type and stuff like that. I wonder if I think I have that as a part of, yeah. Name, email, business. So I want to take this drop down. I want this to be at the end. So I want to go straight into the questions. And then at the end, you have to give me the information in order to get your score. So add to get my time CTA. All right, so that means update the CTA buttons, right? So I'm going to update that to update my CTA buttons. But normally I go up all the way down, like from the top of the page to the bottom of the page. But all right, let's see. Now what I really want is each question to be one question on the page. I don't want them all on one page. Yes, it already knew it. It already knew it. Okay, great. This is what I want. It has a tracker, like a question tracker, progress bar. So it has a progress bar. I'm rocking with that. Pretty simple. It don't have to be super fancy. In Score app, it can be a bit fancier than this. Customized in different ways. Same thing with Typeform. It can look different. But the whole point is get the questions answered. So I'm gonna pick the lowest thing on everything and see if it gives me what I expect. So it's 15 questions. I'm going to keep it real. It's already feeling long. Pause. But these are vital questions. And the thing about it, even though it feels like it take a little time, it tells you that it's about 3 minutes. Trust me, there are going to be people that's going to time it. But giving them that 3-minute window to work within, they can do this in a minute. And they'll know, if they read slow, then maybe it might take a little bit longer. All right, boom. If you had 20 extra hours per week, what would you do with them? This question is built to appeal to their aspirations as a business owner, because I'm a business owner and I got aspirations. I want a house in a certain place. I want a Porsche. You see it on the wall right there. I wanted a G-Wagon. You see it here. Maybe one day I'll still get one. You know what I'm saying? I have aspirations. I want to be able to kick it with my mom, go on trips with her, with my girl, have a family. You know what I'm saying? I got aspirations. All of us do. People who take the initiative and are delusional enough to think they can go and build something from scratch typically have life aspirations. Maybe they want to change the world. You are trapped in a business prison of your own making. That punch, that hits. I like that. The color combo, not so much. I can update that, no problem. I like the X. So I see what it's doing. It's giving you colors connected to, like, it's signaling. So cool. The time impact hours, 25 hours a week lost to ineffective processes. This is all based on the logic that I showed you, that I put in. Let's go over here. Let's scroll down. Here's the cool thing about this. This is just what I'm going to start with. The financial cost, about $6,000 a month if you're making about $75 an hour. So you just do the math, right? Now, here's the thing. The really cool thing about this is that this is, what do they call it? This is back-end logic. This is hard code. This would be hard coded into my web app. But I can make it dynamic and just use the ChatGPT API to do all the response. So the ChatGPT can do all of I could take this, put it in, and it'll always score against this, but it'll give the feedback, the actual response. It could be different for each person, right? And it'll cost me fractions of a penny to really personalize it, right? And I can just give it the instructions. So not bad, right? And then what I typically do is I'll do a screenshot of what my results are. Actually, you know what? This is going to take, won't be able to do that. Here's the deal. I'm going to end that. What I am going to do, though, is I want to see this. Because what I do is I always take a screenshot of the progress, right, of my updates. So now that we know how it's looking, we got an overall look. Boom. I'm going to save that. So I save everything along the way. Every update I make, I take a screenshot of it. Every significant update I make. So in this case, let's say I change the color of the footer, which I would change that to black. I'm going to keep these colors here. I'm going to change that photo there and, some other things. And so the very last part before we get out of this episode is I just want to show you guys like how I approach making the proper update. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it go ahead and hit publish. So take assessment again. Boom. It's going to take you back to the first page. So I want the take assessment again button goes back to landing page. I don't want it to go here because this page is not going to be the first page, or this is not going to be the starting point of the quiz. Boom. All right, so I had to refresh that. So that's another thing I'm going to have to let it know. Anytime that you refresh it or go back, we need to add back button. We need to add a back button. And so this is how I go through the process. I just go through each thing and I'm like, okay, every amendment, everything that needs to be changed, everything needs to be added. We need to add a back button for each question. So I'll go up and down this page, make all of my fixes, and then when I put them in to get updated, I'll kind of stack them like 5 at a time, especially if they're related. Like, for example, all of the copy, I'll give it all of the copy updates. If there's any images, I'll give it all of the image updates, and I would do something like take a photo, or let's say for a prime example, real quick. Come on now. Whatever you think, any idea you have in your head, you can get that out. Now, I don't love this image. Something feels a little bit off with it's very easy to miss. First of all, it looks very AI, but I'm fine with it. There it is. Oh, that's her right hand is a left hand, and I don't like that. You gotta have that. So see, these are his. See, he has a darker tail shirt. You could see it through the. See, I just spot that because I'm very used to producing these images for graphics and stuff for like marketing. But I really like these two people. These look like two people that I would see working. My man got a nice trimmed beard. He doing this thing with the graphs. I'm digging it. That is how I'm going about building a proper dynamic lead magnet for my business that's going to help my audience, my prospects, the people who I'm trying to work with and help get time back in their business. Because that's something that people are not accounting for in their business. They are just showing up, working hard, doing any and everything that they possibly can. And that's what you should be doing when you start out. But you got to give yourself, you have to have the awareness to understand that, one, you can't keep this up or you will burn out. And you have to take a log of all the things that you're doing. Sometimes you really got to go through and just like, you got to do a little checklist, right? You just really got to go and break everything down. Like, what am I spending my time on? How much time am I spending? If I was making if my dollar amount is, if my earnings per hour is $100 something, is this task worth me doing? No. If that's the case, I'm losing money. Where does that happen? Okay, now how can I fix that? How can I automate this? Especially if you have a small team, right? Because it's not about replacing the people on your team. It's about giving them the tools they need to work faster, to work better, and to improve profits in your business. If you are the only person in your team, then you absolutely need to be figuring out how much time you're spending on stuff so you can just go employ AI tools, AI agents to do that. And if you want to know how to do that, there's a link in the description where you can work with me directly. We can hop on the call. I'll do a quick roadmap for you in real life, in real time, at no cost, complimentary if you come from this video. That's it for this video. Go build something, build the freedom into the business that you want, or build the freedom into your lifestyle based on the business that you have. I'm going to check you out in the next video.